For a moment there, it looked like Mr. Soft Touch might have a surprisingly bleak ending, which wouldn't have been totally out of the blue given the odd tone of this picture. But Glenn Ford dying in the street doesn't make for a very uplifting holiday entertainment. Not that it was the holidays when this movie was released. Despite all its Yuletide trappings, Mr. Soft Touch opened nationwide in August 1949, not at Christmas. Just one more thing that makes this movie such a weird anomaly. I wish I could tell you why there were two directors and point definitively to who shot what. And it's only a hunch on my part that Gordon Douglas handled the action stuff while Henry Levin did the rest. But that's just based on other films they made around the same time. Gordon Douglas would become known much later for hard-edged crime pictures and westerns, but he'd paid his dues making Our Gang comedies and dozens of lightweight programmers. He directed Frank Sinatra and Doris Day in 1954's Young at Heart, then reunited with Sinatra in the late 60s for three hits, Tony Rome, Lady in Cement, and The Detective, in which Old Blue Eyes indulged his lifelong fantasy of being Humphrey Bogart. Meanwhile, Henry Levin worked in every genre after making his directing debut at Columbia in 1944. One of his best was Night Editor, a nasty B-noir from 1946. He made a couple of other decent crime pictures, Convicted and Two of a Kind, before leaving Columbia to work at 20th Century Fox. It wasn't until the 1960s that Levin made a mark, directing back-to-back box office hits, Journey to the Center of the Earth for Fox, and Where the Boys Are when he moved to MGM. His final film was the 1980 TV movie Scout's Honor, starring Gary Coleman. On the day he wrapped production, Levin died of a heart attack, 70 years of age. Glenn Ford came to prominence in the film noir era, co-starring in one of Columbia's biggest hits, Gilda. But by the end of the decade, Ford, like his co-star Evelyn Keyes, was bristling about his servitude to the studio. But unlike Keyes, Ford re-upped, signing a new contract that resulted in some of his best movies. As he aged, Ford assumed more gravitas on screen, which served him well in westerns like The Fastest Gun Alive, 3:10 to Yuma, and Cowboy, and in crime pictures like The Big Heat, Experiment in Terror, and The Money Trap. Evelyn Keyes would make some good films in the 50s, including several noirs. The Prowler, made in 1951, featured her best performance. And in things like 99 River Street and Hell's Half Acre, she was having fun, and quite honestly no longer paying much attention to her career. She moved to Spain with fourth husband Artie Shaw and focused more on living than working. In 1955, she committed what she called career suicide, playing Tom Yule's wife in The 7-Year Itch. If you want people to forget all about you, she said, co-star in a movie with Marilyn Monroe. A roadshow revival of No No Nanette in the early 70s was a triumphant comeback, and she won much acclaim for her two best-selling memoirs, Scarlett O'Hara's Younger Sister and I'll Think About That Tomorrow. Milton Holmes managed to squeeze every last drop out of his one good idea, selling Mr. Lucky to Blake Edwards, who turned it into a TV series. John Vivian and Ross Martin starred in the show, which ran for 34 episodes between 1959 and 1960, a complement to Edwards' other big hit, Peter Gunn. Both shows featured fantastic themes composed by Henry Mancini. Well, if Christmas came a little early to Noir Alley this year, it's because I'll be off the next 2 weekends as TCM features special programming for Christmas and New Year's. Next time you see me, it'll be 2023, and I'll be welcoming you to another season of Danger, Desire, and Despair, with all new titles, not a single repeat in the bunch. Until next year, happy holidays. I'll see you in the shadows.